In this Podslice summary of the Tim Ferriss Show, Arnold Schwarzenegger shares his considerable experience in health challenges and recovery with Tim Ferriss, beginning with his heart surgery. Despite it being a routine, non-invasive procedure, an unexpected complication led to an emergency open heart surgery, leaving Schwarzenegger with a breathing tube and heavy sedation. When he woke up, doctors explained what had happened, providing him with a stark understanding of his situation. Following open heart surgery, the threat of pneumonia is extremely high. Hence, the next few nights were crucial. Undeterred, he swiftly began his recovery. Gains in physical strength correlated with his increasing comprehension of events. The doctors encouraged Schwarzenegger to keep moving to exercise the lungs, aiding his recovery and reducing risk of pneumonia. He began by walking around his bed, then through his hospital room, down the hallways, and eventually to other buildings. By setting small goals and relentlessly pursuing them, his strength built and he left the hospital on the 6th day, a day earlier than expected. Discipline played a key role in his recovery, reinforcing his belief in the mantra of "work your ass off." Schwarzenegger then shared an early experience of determination and entrepreneurship, recalling how he started selling ice cream at a local lake as a preteen to earn his own money. He saw a need. People sunbathing by the lake weren't willing to walk over to the ice cream kiosk, so he approached the vendor and suggested that he take the ice cream to the people. The ice cream sold quickly, and with the money made, he was able to buy things his parents weren't willing to, like his sports gear. The overarching lesson from this early venture was that hard work reaps reward, a lesson that proved vital in his later life. In their conversation, Schwarzenegger also mentions his upcoming book called Be Useful: 7 Tools for Life. He explains this title emanates from his father's philosophy of serving others and the community before oneself. Growing up, he was urged to use his talents for the benefit of others, a lesson that resonated throughout his life and influenced his personal and professional choices. Schwarzenegger's philosophy of gaining growth through pain, discomfort, and hardship emerges as a central theme in his discussion with Tim Ferriss. He reflects that only through pain can you grow, not just physically, but also as a person. This realization, he says, dawned upon him in the gym, where one must endure pain and push beyond their limits to witness growth. He extends this concept to real life, where struggles across various realms, including the military, work, or university, drive individuals towards progress. He goes on to recount his father's influence on his life, discussing how his father taught him various versions of the concept of working hard. His father, a police officer, taught him the importance of serving others and the community, which was embedded in his philosophy of working and being useful. Schwarzenegger shares that his father's job and his passion for music were both about serving the people, instilling him with the ethos of helping others. Schwarzenegger describes his upbringing as one that not only made him resilient, but also shattered his brother. Reflecting on their childhood, he comments that his brother was more fragile by nature, which made dealing with their strict father harder for him. Schwarzenegger, on the other hand, tackles the punishing regime by appearing stronger, even though he was also afraid. He shares the significant differences between how they coped. While Schwarzenegger harnessed the hardship and thrived, his brother crumbled, eventually succumbing to alcoholism and passing away in an accident. Therefore, he is grateful to his father for the mental toughness and resilience that were instilled in him, which he considers as essential to achieve his dreams. Schwarzenegger shares how thinking big during his early days has been the stepping stone to his successive victories. His dream to win the Mr. Europe competition led him to his first international win, consequent jobs, and subsequently laid the path to his dream destination, America. In his view, thinking big doesn't necessarily demand more effort. It empowers individuals to aim and strive for larger goals. His thought process has always been to not hold back. He competed in Mr. Universe when he was only 19 and became the youngest Mr. Universe champion at the age of 20. This was only possible, he explains, because he dared to think big. Arnold Schwarzenegger's philosophy of dreaming big, working hard, and always being prepared for an opportunity is proven by his successful acting career. Continuing his conversation with Tim Ferriss, Schwarzenegger recalls his early acting days when minor roles were offered to him due to his physique and German accent. Instead of accepting these limited possibilities, he had grand ambitions of emulating big stars of that era like Charles Bronson, Clint Eastwood, Warren Beatty, etc. and wanted to create his own unique path. Schwarzenegger worked on his acting skills, including learning the English language, speech, vocals, accent removal, paralleling his meticulous approach to bodybuilding. Amidst all this, he pursued real estate, becoming a millionaire before landing his first major acting role. He remembers refusing parts which didn't fit his envisioned profile and focused on being recognized for star roles. Schwarzenegger's belief in himself, his hard work, and his willingness to undertake risks eventually led to his first major breakthrough with the movie Conan the Barbarian, where he landed the starring role. His unique physique, which many predicted would be his downfall in Hollywood, became his selling point. He effectively leveraged his accent, which director James Cameron described as perfect machine talk for the Terminator, turning it into a distinctive mark. Schwarzenegger also discusses the importance of risk-taking and perseverance through the Twins movie project. Despite being a reputed action hero, he decided to try comedy, a territory he hadn't ventured into previously. Owing to the uncertain outcome, he, director Ivan Reitman, and co-star Danny DeVito offered to forego their salaries for a significant stake on the returns. Risk paid off, and Twins emerged more successful than Schwarzenegger's prior action movies. He credits his success to the art of selling, which he learned during his early career in sales. He emphasizes the criticality of selling, marketing, communicating, and convincing for any product or talent. He illustrates this point with an anecdote from his teenage years at a hardware store, where he witnessed firsthand how the art of selling played out. His boss, while dealing with a couple, aptly identified the actual customer between the two and adjust his selling strategy accordingly. This learning, in Schwarzenegger's opinion, is equally applicable in any field, be it a podcast, movie, or any product. Making people aware of your talent or product is the key to success. From the Tim Ferriss podcast, Arnold Schwarzenegger shares a deep understanding of the art of selling and adjusting to different audiences, from his early years in the hardware store to his interactions in Hollywood. He learned from Andy Warhol the importance of not just selling the art, but also oneself. Everything one does contributes to creating an interesting character that attracts people's attention to one's craft. Moving on to talk about shifting gears, Schwarzenegger uses his heart surgery experience as an example. The event forced him to quickly adjust, shaping his personal philosophy about the art of improvisation. He underlines that life will throw unexpected things at you, and being good at improvising is crucial. He effectively applied this principle at different stages of his life, from bodybuilding, acting, to serving as a governor. Initiating a discussion on emotions, he describes how moving from bodybuilding to acting required a shift. As an athlete, he was trained to suppress emotions, but as an actor, he had to let them surface. His acting teacher helped him to reconnect with his emotions, a shift crucial to his success in Hollywood. Speaking on loss, Schwarzenegger reflects on the grief he experienced after losing one of his closest friends, Franco Columbu. He points out his approach to grief. It's not the shock of loss that affects him, but the everyday reminder of the person's absence in his life. The pain of missing Franco's presence every day is what he finds to be the most heartbreaking. Lastly, the conversation swerves to the topic of aging. Arnold shares that his views on aging and vulnerabilities were influenced by his heart surgeries. He realized his invincibility was brief, and he needed to manage his health carefully. He noticed changes in his capabilities and accepted them, showing that even the fittest individuals need to adjust their lifestyle as they age. Now, he ensures he maintains a certain level of physical activity, demonstrating how he has adeptly shifted gears in response to life's most profound changes. In this section of the Tim Ferriss podcast, Arnold Schwarzenegger delves into his personal experiences and insights on aging, resilience, and purpose. He narrates his ordeals with his health, such things as elbow surgery and nerve problems. He equates fitness to life, illustrating that whether you're old or young, rich or poor, everyone faces the same struggles. The dichotomy of wealth and fame, and universal human ailments like pain and health issues, serve to remind listeners of the commonalities that exist amongst us all. Schwarzenegger describes how aging gradually brings about changes in one's lifestyle, diet, and physical activity. He emphasizes the significance of making deliberate decisions to maintain good health and prolong life. He voicing concern over the preconceived notions of life expectancy. demonstrating his belief in human agency to control, to an extent, their lifespan through health-conscious decisions. Tim Ferriss prods Schwarzenegger on his present identity and future aspirations. Schwarzenegger reflects on his constant state of looking towards the future. He discusses his future endeavors in multiple fields, including environment, public policy, show business, health, and fitness. Interestingly, he perceives the present as a new motivational era in his life, which includes speeches, books, and newsletters. Schwarzenegger then delves into the lessons and inspirations he hopes his audience and readers will gather from his content. He shares his belief in having a definitive goal and vision in life, and the courage to embrace failure, recounting anecdotes from his own life and eminent personalities like Michael Jordan and Muhammad Ali. He encourages listeners to approach the fear of failure differently and to take risks despite the potential of failure. He concludes the segment speaking on the value of giving back and the humility in recognizing the help one has received from others. He underscores the importance of acknowledging that one is not a self-made individual and emphasizes the responsibility we carry to help others who need it. Schwarzenegger's message is one of resilience, constant evolution, and ultimately the power of being undeniably human. Arnold Schwarzenegger continues the enlightening conversation, offering much-discussed lessons that not only led to his personal success, but are also universally applicable. He communicates a significant lesson of breaking the mirror in front of oneself, a concept of moving beyond self-absorption and acknowledging the support one receives from others. Arnold insists that these tips, extracted firsthand from his life experiences, aren't exclusive but can be adopted by anyone and everyone. This conversation also drops a hint about Schwarzenegger's new book, Be Useful: 7 Tools for Life, subtly suggesting its alignment with his motivational talks. The book's title itself appears to underscore Arnold's key philosophy of being useful and beneficial to others. He encourages his audience to seek this book for finer insights into leading a successful and fulfilling life, available on busefulbook.com and all leading bookstores. While discussing his various ventures, Schwarzenegger gives a shout-out to his newsletter, found at arnoldspunkclub.com. He hints that this platform might hold further value for listeners interested in introspective and self-improvement content. Every bit the humble and gracious Schwarzenegger, he refuses to accelerate towards conclusive remarks. Instead, he takes a moment to express his deep gratitude toward his supporters. Whether they voiced their cheers during his bodybuilding days, rushed to cinemas housing his films, followed his newsletter, or attended his seminars, he realizes that without their unwavering support, his journey wouldn't have been the same. A sense of sincere humility and indebtedness reflects in his narration as he mentions names like Jim Cameron and Ivan Reitman, and even thanks America for shaping his destiny. Continuing with his discourse, Tim Ferriss thanks Schwarzenegger for his time, to which the latter cordially reciprocates. Throughout, the narrative maintains an engaging consistency, providing valuable life lessons, insights into Schwarzenegger's ventures, and expressing genuine gratitude to his fans and well-wishers. Check out the full podcast by clicking the link in the description below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you for listening to this podcast summary episode of The Pod Slice.